I'm an earthworm woman. In the mornings, I fill my tanks by breathing the energy of the sea and tasting the power of the sun penetrating my skin. There's an air of no care, which comes with age, and I hold my head up proudly, liking who I've become. I'm not afraid of smells, or dirt, or to walk barefoot across the stones. Sometimes I wade through the shallow water just to embrace its fluid element, my hair often crazy and loose, being pulled by and flying in the wind. I can be glamorous if I want to, although makeup was never my thing. And I've learnt that life is for living, not fearing, and so I absorb it like a sponge. Put me onto the stage. Good morning, grand rising, everyone. This episode is all about being free, and as I say in that beginning bit, life is for living, and we have to take every day as a blessing, and we have to live every day as much as we can, but we also have to maybe look at the way we live, I think, and question it and think, is it actually doing us? Are we living in our truth? Anyway, I'm going to bring Mercy Wolf on because she's Mercy and Miracle. Oh, Eminem. Because here she is. She is living in her truth. And I'm really sorry about this small sort of setup here. I've been trying to work out why on earth it's doing that and how you get it bigger. Oh, there we go.
You just have to do it on your own screen. I just did it to mine, I think. Am I blurry? No, I realize I've had tape over my camera. Am I blurry? Okay,
no. Good. No. So yeah, I mean, I haven't got any really big introduction except just, you've done a major change in your life because, well, for whatever reason, we'll ask in a second. And it's all around freedom, and it's all around living in your truth, and you're absolutely not being bogged down by all the things that were bogging you down. But I'm going to ask you to talk about it. Obviously,
is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because how long? So tell me, when did you make that decision? You know what? I'm out of Australia.
Okay, it started at the beginning of last year, 2025. Actually, 2024. End of 2024, I found out I had to move out of my apartment, and I knew it was, coming. Eventually, my landlady died, and I knew they were going to renovate, so they gave me notice. I had a great old apartment in Sydney. I knew there was no way I would find anything reasonable. I think Miracle's getting wriggly, so I'll put her back on the floor, but she's ready for a little after breaking nap. So we can talk about her later.
Cat's a rig.
Yeah, so I just didn't know what I was going to do, but I just kind of thought, I'm just going to go to Thailand for a few months. And at that point, I was publishing books. I was trying to do an Amazon publishing thing and never finding the time to do it enough because I still was working to pay the rent. And so I just decided when the lease was up, I was going to go to Thailand, which turned into Vietnam. And I went for 3 months. I downsized massively, thinking maybe this is going to be long-term, but I didn't really know. So
that wasn't the one-way thing. No, you can get to
No, this is a year ago. And then, so I downsized most of my stuff, put the rest in storage, went to Vietnam for 3.5 months, beginning of last year, and spent 3 months in Hoi An, which is where I am now. And it was just the most blissful, wonderful time of my life. I had time to focus. I actually did focus. It wasn't just a fantasy. I did, because I also thought, wow, I wonder if I'm just fantasizing about actually, getting stuck into doing work. But I did. Yeah. So then I ended up going back to Australia. I did pet sitting and house sitting. I told a few people that that's what I was going to do. And they all people said, yeah, you can come and look after my house and my pets. So I was back in Australia for, most of winter. And then I came back for the end of last year. Just didn't feel connected to Australia. And and then I went back to Australia for Christmas for a few weeks and bought the one-way ticket, bit the bullet, and here I am. So I've been here since beginning of January.
Oh, wow. Right. So it has been 6 months.
Nearly
because
5
that's
months.
the thing, isn't it? We're in the 5th month. We're in the 6th month. Okay, so the beginning. We think if we make a physical change, like you're a bit like me, like I've jumped countries. I think that will change everything, and it does sometimes, obviously. But there's more than that. You made a decision like this is not just a change of location and do the same thing that I did in Australia. Change of location and do something completely different. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I just, I think like a lot of people, I am a bit sick of Australia.
Yeah.
Just, I went through the whole nonsense, COVID nonsense, and just all the crap, just life crap. So last year,
Well, you were in Sydney as well. In Sydney,
I was in Sydney. So Sydney wasn't as bad as Melbourne, but it was bad enough, and I lost my job. And I mean, that's kind of how I've got my following on Facebook, was from standing up and being one of the only people in the beginning to speak out about it and being very public about trying to keep my job. Went to all the protests and everything. So it was just, it felt really stupid. But, on a more personal level, just all the life admin and all the hoops that you have to, thanks, Jan. Yeah, all the hoops that you have to jump through. So at the beginning of last year, like when I came to Vietnam at the beginning of last year, the housekeeper lost my SIM card in the first week. I'd taken my Vodafone SIM out of my phone to swap it for a Vietnamese one, and it got thrown away. It was in a little bag. So I didn't have my phone. So I had to change my, and, I'd left my address. Like I've still got a PO box address. I never get phone calls anymore. I don't have a mailbox. There's like all of those things that was what sort of really stood out to me last year. And actually at the beginning of last year, I also just stopped doing social media completely. So I just felt like there was just this amazing, like,
What is it? Sounds like you did. You just stopped in everything. I mean, I'm all connected still to the bloody rents and the bills and all of that rubbish, but I feel I'm trying to listen to what's right and what's wrong and when I should be moving or whatever. And I know I have to stay here now, certain reasons, but also, because of what I'm doing. But you're very much listening to your inner.
Yeah.
And,
because I had been very kind of vocal on Facebook, and then I got here and it was like, oh, this is so beautiful. I should be posting. I should be, and I just didn't, and I couldn't. And it was really just a blissful kind of experience. And then, so I just realized that this is how I want life to be. And, and also while I was here last year, so I had been publishing, and then I realized I really wanted to do my health coaching, which is, I'd sort of been on and off, but just never having time to do marketing properly and do it properly. And
time. Yes.
Yeah. So I just decided that I would really, give that everything I have. So that's
obviously I'm going to talk to you about what you're doing with that. But to be honest, I'm really interested in this connection with God that you found.
Yes.
And I have to, like, I came from a family that we had to go to the library. We weren't allowed to know anything about religion, that sort of any religion, because Jewish became Muslims. So we had to go to the library with the Brethrens. Growing up,
Oh, you're a Brethren.
No. I'm Jewish, and my parents became Muslims. So
oh, wow.
that was our kind of. We had all the stuff of that, like you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. But my parents never let us learn anything about any other religions as kids.
Wow.
Anyway, so now I'm more fascinated to find out all these stories. I'm actually listening to the Bible. I'm listening to it on a kind of, not podcast. Well, it is a podcast, I suppose.
Yeah, like
and I'm thinking, I need to know this stuff. I just need to know it. I want to know, because people talk about it's the parallel and all of this, and whether I believe it in the end or not or whatever. But I've always believed in God, and I've always been in touch with that sort of way because of another whole thing that we went into, which was a spiritualhood. But so that's why when I listened to you talking like that.
So you saw my video that I did yesterday?
Yeah, I did. But also I've seen other ones that you've mentioned. And can you talk about
yeah, okay. Well, it's a big story. I'm going to do a proper testimony. I don't know if you've ever seen, people do their Jesus testimonies. There's thousands of them on YouTube, and mine goes back about 7 years. So I've always been on a spiritual path since my early 20s. There's probably only about 3 or 4 years of my life where I didn't believe in something. So I was kind of, I grew up Catholic, but I rejected that in my teens. And then I was kind of drawn to the Hare Krishnas and, and being a child of the 60s and Woodstock, excuse me, I got very swept up in all the, meditation and everything like that. So I was, sorry, I just got distracted.
Oh, no, I'm just talking to Martin for a second. Exactly. I'm not talking about religion, because that's the same as what Mercy.
No, we're not talking about religion.
Yeah, I rejected all the religion. It's just a belief.
So I started meditating in my early 20s, and I was always seeking, and I found it all really exotic, and I was into the idea of gurus and things, but I never found a teacher. I ended up being a meditation teacher. So until about 7 years ago, that's what I was doing. And I was a really good meditation teacher. I was kind of ahead of the curve with all of that. And I've done everything. Like, I literally have searched under every stone, done all the hallucinogenics, had a Kundalini awakening, had all this, crazy, wild spiritual experiences. And then like so many people, when I started realizing the level of evil that was controlling the world, it was that, and realizing that was supernatural evil, that people were doing rituals for power. It started becoming more real, and then realizing how many Christians there are as well, like how many people have come out of the New Age into Christianity, how many people have been Satanists and now they're Christians. People, the victims of trafficking, how many of them are Christians? So intellectually, I was coming around to it. And then I had a very powerful kind of encounter with Jesus. So it was a instant boom. Oh my God, I'm a born again Christian. Like, it was just, so I won't go into the details of that, but it was a very powerful kind of, and it was experiential, and I had all the other experiences to compare it to. And I looked back on those, realizing that they were probably sort of more dissociative in some ways. And so that was the beginning of me being a Christian. I think it's about 8 years ago now, 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay. So
it's been a while, and it changed everything. I knew in an instant that it was going to change everything, because I was like the spiritual one and the wise one and the meditation teacher, and now I'm a Christian, and it's like, what, and I went through a bit of a tough time after that, because like I said in the caption of my video yesterday. Like it's uncomfortable, you know, to talk about, and it shouldn't be. I mean, you know, you can talk about your spiritual beliefs and virtue signal about yoga and all, you know, doing ceremonies with Indians and, you know, whatever.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is that's uncomfortable? I mean,
because it's the truth, and it's, you know, it's been weaponized. Jesus said, people, you will be persecuted, and Christians have been persecuted throughout the ages, right down to, I think I said it did I say it in my caption or in the actual video? Yeah, I said it in the video that, you know, part of the 60s psyop, because I've gone really deep into all the 60s stuff. And that was when they brought the gurus over. That's when the whole New Age thing was sort of seeded into consciousness. Hallucinogenics are also called suggestogens. So when you pump people full of acid and then you tell them about Indian gods and gurus, then they're going to believe that that's the truth. So all of that was kind of seeded into the consciousness in the 60s. And Christianity was just bullshit, you know. So a lot of that.
Was it? Like, I mean, was it not fancy enough or something? I wonder if it was seen as too heavy or serious or something. I went a couple of weeks ago with someone. I went to the Hare Krishna temple in South Melbourne.
I used to go there every Sunday.
I never knew about it. Anyway, I went there. But as a child, for some reason, I was terrified of the Hare Krishnas. I don't know why. Absolutely, just I found them evil. I found their feeling around them was
you know,
their smell, their whole way they were.
Well, that's your good antenna working for you there, probably. Yeah. I mean,
and I used to hide in the cupboard and say, "Please, I don't want to go," because I was very young.
Hilarious.
We were going shopping or something. Anyway, so it was all fine and everything, and then they did their whole chanting around the room and thing, and this woman looks at me and put her hand out for me to go and join them, and so I had to go around in the circle.
The other night, right?
Yeah, so strange that she picked me. Anyway, we got to a point where I said, I have to get out of here. It was too much. It wasn't making me feel good. It didn't make me feel, oh my God, this is amazing. It actually was like, yeah, this is your thing. And like Martin, and I just believe that there's a force, that there's a God, and that we have to give into that and know that that's the highest, or you know, the way to lead our lives.
But I think, like, when people talk about religion and Christianity, and like I think that that's been weaponized as well, because you know, a lot of people have rejected Jesus because of what, you know, their perception of the Catholic Church, and that's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You know, it's like you've got to get beneath all the brainwashing and the conditioning. You know, they've done that to us, and they made all the Eastern stuff so exotic. You know, but it doesn't really, you know, in my experience, if I look at where I was after 35 years of all of that, 35 years of, you know, you can, all paths lead to the same place. You can do whatever you want with spiritually, and it doesn't take you anywhere. It's this kind of, it's all very amorphous. It's like, you can do this practice and then this practice and this practice, and you're purifying yourself, and you can do anything you want in this life because you've got millions of other lives ahead of you. You can fix it all up in those lives. So just do whatever you want. And when you start looking for the line between do as thou wilt, you know, what's his name? The Satanist.
Which one?
Aleister Crowley. So he's like, you know, the evil Satanist who do as thou wilt, you know, is the whole of the law. Do whatever you want. The people that brought the New Age to the West, they were Luciferians. And when you actually start looking for the line, what's the line between kind of the good New Age and the bad? It's very hard to find, because it all comes down to you are creating your reality, and it's you. And that's what the serpent was trying to convince Eve of in the garden. It's like, don't listen to God. You're the creator. And that is what all of this is. So, you know, when you actually, this is my personal experience, but as soon as when I had my powerful awakening, that was being a mad truth seeker researcher, I just started reading and trying to figure it all out. And I was like, where's the line between good and evil when both sides are saying you can do whatever you want? And it's pretty hard to find. Whereas if you follow God and if you put him as the highest and his will, then you can't get it wrong. If that makes sense.
I guess, yeah. And to a degree, but I'm sort of just looking and looking and looking at the moment too, just reading lots of things and listening to lots of things. But what was I going to say?
I just need to close. There's a window banging.
Yeah. Now I'll try and think of what I was going to say. New Age thing. Yeah, it was very much, isn't it? It's like it was very all distracting, but and so, it's very simple.
The Bible is a good place to start. I started reading the Bible. That was, straight away. And I learned, it was so fascinating to discover that it's all one story.
I'm reading the story. I'm listening to the story of the Bible, I think it is, or the New Testament. I've just, people talk to me about stuff and I'm like, well, I don't really understand I don't know this, and I need to, I should know it. I should at least know.
There's so much to know. I mean, I feel like I've just scratched the surface, there's so much, and I don't remember most of what I read. It's just, but you just...
Well, you remember what you need to know, maybe. You don't need to know, have a whole load of facts in there, or who did what and when they went there and whatever. But it is fascinating.
I mean, so, I think, I would say to anyone who is thinking about it and trying to find out, just ask God, just pray for knowledge, pray for the truth. That's what I do every day. I ask God, thy will be done. Show me the truth and show me the path. Those are my three, it's like, just put it in front of me. And since I've been really surrendering to it, things have been pretty amazing, like it's when you totally surrender, it's like,
well, there we are. I've always, because I've been spiritual, but I've always believed that in God and asked God for guidance, or where's Rahana, things like that, ask to be shown always. Yes. But you got to listen as well.
Yeah, you do. And you've got to be able to just distinguish between, God's will and your own will.
Yes.
And your own fearful thoughts as well. When you have fearful thoughts, it's not God. So there's a cat biting my toes.
Yeah, so I'm just going to read Martin's comment here. All failed civilizations ended when they promoted sexualization of children, pornography, pedophilia. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to actually read that one out because some of that I don't believe in. Surrenders requires trust. Yeah. Each to their own, Martin, but the same-sex relationships I'm not with you on.
You're not what?
Well, I have my sister's, one of my sisters. Anyway, I'm saying that civilization ended when there was same-sex relationship. That's
yeah. That there's truth in that. There's no continuity if everyone ends up.
Oh, I understand. For everyone, but there's still that within it. Yeah, there's still going to be people who are there. So, Belinda, struggling to know where to begin. Why don't you do what I'm doing? I don't know where you're from as far as your background. I'm just listening God. And there we go.
Ask to be guided. So one of the things that happens to me is, I woke up from a dream. So when I was back in Australia at the beginning of January at my parents' place, and I woke up and I'd had a dream that God told me to start another YouTube channel. And I don't know if it was really God or if it was just my dream. But I was like, because I already had my health channel and I hadn't been doing much on it. And I was thinking I should start maybe start a channel because I was coming to Vietnam, and I thought I should really start documenting my, my whole one-way ticket thing, because surely there's other women my age who might want to do something like this. And I'd been thinking about it anyway. So then I had a dream that God told me to.
You want to follow Mercy? I was just going to say here. Where's it gone?
Sorry.
Hang on a sec. Sorry, I'm just saying if people want to follow you, it's not my page, but anyway, there's her Instagram and everything.
Sorry, the cat just pulled on the power lead. All right, I've unplugged it. My laptop nearly flew off the table then.
That's okay.
Anyway, so I sat with it, and as the day went on, a few videos came up in my YouTube, and they were like confirming that it was a good idea, like random videos.
Yep.
And so I set up another channel, and I called it One Way Ticket, and I just set it up. I didn't do anything on it. And then that night, because I'd made a New Year's resolution that I was going to make a video every day this year, or post a video. And I'd started TikTok because I just wanted to feel free and not, self-conscious. And so I had a TikTok channel. I had 7 followers. I posted my 7th video that night, the night that I made the One Way Ticket channel, and it went viral on TikTok. So I watched my follower count just going bing, 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 bing.
Wow.
And the view count went up. I woke up in the morning, I had 40,000 views on that post. It was a post about going to Vietnam on a one-way ticket. So I thought, okay, I'm onto something. So that was sort of how I left Australia. 2 days later, I left Australia. 2 days after I arrived in Vietnam, I posted the same video to Instagram and Facebook. And it's had 600,000 views now. So it just went totally viral. I've got 36,000 followers today, as of today. And it totally changed my life. And that was because I had a dream that God told me to start another YouTube channel. So I truly think that if you are really sincere about it, then you get the answers.
Prepared to listen and actually
not your brain.
Yes.
You will. You'll get the answers, and you find them everywhere. And also like finding this little kitten as well, that's totally thrown everything. My business has just kind of been on the back burner for the last 6 weeks because I've got a blind little kitten that's needed all my attention. But some money has come my way, like everything just sort of works out. And
that's the thing. So not for everyone maybe, but it could. You just have to trust that you're where you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, I know I have to make this film. I don't know why, I just know I have to do it. And that's my plan at the moment. I managed to raise enough money to pay everybody who was working on it. That was the amount that I needed, or whatever. I actually upped people's wages so so that everyone had a fair amount, and sort of wasn't a message from God, but it was trusting that I was doing the right thing. It was actually sitting and believing that this is what has to be happen. And now, and there's no race to it as well. I'm just trying to do it properly. So, and the thing is, what you're doing at the moment is you're just also you've got things you're setting up, but you're living. So this cat's come into your life. It's like, oh, hang on, this wasn't a plan of action. I'm supposed to be doing this, but maybe not. Maybe the cat came along to slow you down a bit. Even
absolutely. And I wasn't going fast. It wasn't like I was, going fast. But what she has done is you know, it was like, okay, I can't even move forward. I felt like I'm not even able to move forward because I was in the middle of, I'm in the middle of about 10 things always.
Yeah.
But I was creating an online program and yeah, I just suddenly felt like, wow, I'm not getting anywhere with anything. And I've had a couple of like real bottlenecks, like storage for my video files. And there's been some things that have just been really just in the way. Sorry, I've got something in my throat.
Can your son help you with that? I always go to my son if
I fixed it. So just being stuck in a room with a blind kitten, you know, trying to keep cool. I finally got on top of something that I've been stuck with. I mean, I wasn't even really trying to solve it because I was trying to do too many things at once. So a couple of big things have just kind of been solved. It feels like something's moved and I am moving forward. So cats can only be a good thing. Yeah. So but also it's also brought lots of other people into my community. Like I've got all the crazy cat ladies of Facebook following me. That's so funny. Yeah, there's so many cat people in my life now, and it's just created this lovely sort of warmth in the community because I already had gone viral, but now it's like, okay, now it's all about the kitten. Everyone's really invested in what's going to happen with this kitten because she's blind and she might need an eye operation. We traveled 1,000 miles, you know, a couple of weeks ago to get where we are on a train.
Was that on a train?
It was a big deal, and everyone was like, you know, gunning for us, and it's been very cute.
Amazing, because cats don't usually like travel when obviously it wants to be with you.
Yeah, well, she doesn't know. I mean, I found her. She was only like 2 weeks old. She was tiny. She's been moving around with me since I had her, and yeah, and she comes on. I've got a backpack for her, and yeah, so she sits on my lap when we go out. She'd rather be with me than.
Well, it's something that's well, you sound pretty grounded, helping you stay grounded, or you know, kind of maybe keeping you okay. I've got to stay here and do things because can't keep going out because the cat.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going out all the time anyway. It's hot, and you know.
Is it? Tell us about where you are. What's the difference between that and what's the other city you were in?
I was in Vung Tau before here. I was in Saigon for the first 7 weeks. That was the first 7 weeks, and then I spent 2 months in a place called Vung Tau, which is a town on the south on the coast. It's really nice, and it's got a lot of expats. There's a lot of old Aussies and a lot of older expats there. It was where they launched the boats that the refugee boats from Vietnam, and there was an Australian. It's where they dropped the Australian soldiers off during the war as well. So there's a few old diggers down there.
Did you know that before you went there?
No, I sort of knew a little bit about it, but my plan was that I was going to travel slowly. And then that's been my plan twice now. And I just end up in one place for 2 months. And then because there's a really good vet here, I've just come back here. So I've rented this place for 6 months. So I'm in a place called Hoi An, which is right kind of in the middle of Vietnam on the coast, but it's beautiful. It's like rural, it's rice paddies. I mean, I've got like a little path in front of my house and I've got all the rice paddies, but they're brown at the moment because they've harvested the rice. And then every day that a guy goes past with his like 4 water buffalo and there's people cycling past, and yeah, so it's very kind of rural, and everyone's got their little gardens and they're growing their herbs and veggies and producing something. But then there's also the coast, and there's also it's an ancient town. So there's a beautiful ancient sort of heritage kind of area, which is quite touristy. There's a river. It's just got everything going for it. It's beautiful.
Sounds
and I've got
amazing.
a push bike and I cycle everywhere. It is. It's just, it really doesn't get much better than this. It's, yeah.
And you don't feel, obviously, like you said, there's plenty of English-speaking people there as well, but you're probably starting to learn the language. But is it starting to feel like that's your home almost?
I could live here. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was here for 3 months last year, and that's what I wanted to do when I came here last year. Do
you have to keep leaving the country for residence?
Yes, every 90 days. I've done a video about that on my YouTube channel, about the whole visa thing. But yeah, so you have to do visa runs, and you've got to, you can pay an agent, and they sort of organize it all for you, and a driver comes and picks you up and drives you to the border, and you go across the border into Cambodia, or I think here it's Laos maybe.
Wow.
Or you can fly to Bangkok. And
you haven't done your, well, you have, you must.
Yeah, I have. I've done one. I did a visa run to Cambodia about a month ago.
With the cat? With Miracle?
No, it must have been longer ago then. It was before the cat.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Well, she's not going to need a visa though, so.
Cats can have passports.
But she's born there.
Passports. They've got to have their vaccinations, and they've got to be signed off by a doctor. But I probably get someone to look after her.
Yes, I don't think you want to do that. Yeah,
because it's a whole day. You know, it's a long day.
I would definitely. You don't want to get her.
She's just chasing a piece of paper around on the floor at the moment.
So now you've landed here. You've been here for a little while now. And you're setting up your workshops again, right? You're not workshops.
My which? Yeah. So I've already done one. I've got a program called the 10-day metabolic reset, which I came up with.
There's her pages again. Yeah.
Instagram.
That's just your Instagram things. Those are your
I think the Instagrams come on the end of the YouTube one as well. Yeah, so it's a 10-day reset. So it's kind of, because I used to teach a 28-day program. And I wanted to come up with something for women that wanted, well, I realized that people were getting the results in the first couple of weeks anyway. So this is like a really quick reset. God, the comments just distract me.
Sorry. What I do, it's good to keep them involved.
Oh no, it's your show. I'm just talking
about cats are evil. They eat you.
No. I lose my train of thought.
Don't listen to half of them. Yes. They eat
no, it's your show. I'm not telling you to not put the comments up. I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought you were.
Just ignore them. I mean, how can cats be evil anyway?
Exactly. No. They're beautiful. They're very in tune with humans. Cats. I had two babies who lived till they were 16. They were very, very beautiful things.
Yeah, this kitten is a little godsend. She's just beautiful. And she's actually really beautiful. Like, you know, I couldn't have known when I first found her, but she's got these pointy ears and this beautiful little pointy face. Like, she's a short-haired cat. She's almost Egyptian. Like, there's something quite exotic about her, and there's you don't see cats like that everywhere here. So she's some kind of.
So, do you find that? I mean, like you said, it's been a while since, and you were living in Sydney, which is like a fast place, and so Melbourne's the same. It's actually Melbourne's becoming more and more. Oh no, what's it becoming? I mean, where I am, it's very. I don't let it bother me. I live on the beach too still, so I actually just meet people, talk to people, and there's a lot more druggies and a lot more loonies, so you got to really be aware of those.
Right. And also there's a lot of knife violence and all that sort of craziness in Melbourne, isn't there?
Tons of break-ins. But we knew this. This is all part of it. All part of the plan. Probably the same in Sydney, I'd definitely say.
Yeah, I don't think it's as extreme in Sydney. I mean, it happens, but
we got it all right. Yes, no, there's a huge amount of that people hear gunshots a lot. Yeah, you just really have to. I really am aware of always looking over my back, at my shoulder.
Wow.
Always looking, because especially where I live, there are a lot. But
Right.
then it's not necessarily here where it's all happening, but huge amounts of break-ins.
Yeah, well, where I was in Sydney, it was just so safe.
Yeah.
I lived in a building that was owned by there was not even a security door. Like I was right on a main road in Rose Bay, like opposite the harbour, in a big old building. You could push the door to walk in, and there was a couple in the middle who owned the building, and they were deaf. Kids lived in the building. So if people had wanted to, they could walk in the door off the street and walk into their apartment. So yeah, and here is very safe. Like I don't lock my door when I leave here.
Wow.
Half the time, and I could forget to lock my bike up. No one will steal my bike. It's really safe. People are just really honest. Yeah.
And they speak Vietnamese mostly, I'm assuming, or do you find that?
Yeah, there's a few that speak English, but we have Google Translate. And Vietnamese is really hard language. Like even if you're trying to learn, they don't understand what you're saying. You go back to the massage place and say, oh, had a massage. Is Min here? And they say Min, and you go Min, and they go, oh, Min. And you say, that's what I said. It's so subtle.
Right.
It really is. I'm not exaggerating. That's just how it is. People so it's really hard to, I've learned to say the numbers, I can sort of, and they love it. If they say 25 and then you repeat it back in Vietnamese, they're really impressed and pleased that you're trying to learn a bit of their language. But I can't.
I'd love to come and visit Vietnam at some point. I think.
Yeah, it's an amazing country.
We can't all live somewhere else, of course. We have to also find the peace where we are. But don't feed it zucchini. Okay.
Okay.
But so I'm just reading my thing I've written here is about we have the basic freedom, and however you do that by moving somewhere completely different, whatever, is actually about freeing your soul.
Yeah.
And freeing your soul.
But you can also do some things. I mean, I had started doing things in Australia to become more free. So I had a suite address, which means my driver's license it has a PO box on it, not a
suite address.
A suite address. So you pay a suite, SUITE.
Yeah.
So if you go to the post office, you pay for a PO box, or you can pay a bit more. You get a suite address. So it anonymizes, and it means that you can get parcels and things delivered to that. And
right. I mean, so it just means
your driver's license.
They don't have to have a residential address on your driver's license.
No, I thought the only thing that my residential address was on was my utility bills, obviously, because the electricity and the gas come to the house.
Yeah,
that was it. So I had a suite address. I changed my phone number. I don't have any notifications on my phone. Like there's a whole lot of things that you can do to make yourself feel a bit freer and just, removed. I never answered my phone. That was another thing. I had a message on my phone that said, hi. I didn't say my name. I just say, hello, please leave a message. And if this is from a number I don't recognize, I probably won't answer. So if you want me to call you back, definitely leave me a message. And that was my message for about 3 or 4 years. And so I would get phone calls from numbers, and they would hear my message and they wouldn't bother calling back. And so after a while, people just leave you alone. You got a suite address. You only need to check that once a week, so you're not looking at a letterbox every day. I think there are things that you can do to start feeling freer, and just not returning phone calls. Get rid of your MyGov account. You don't have to have MyGov.
Sometimes you do. I mean, the thing is,
If
what you
you're
do,
getting,
I don't have enough work, so I do,
yeah.
yes. But what am I saying? I don't do what they want. That's the thing. You know, they want us to go with a pass key or a digital ID. I don't do any of that. I
No
just do it the
way.
old way.
Yeah.
Even at the
Pay
post box,
cash.
I have a post box as well, because I live
Mm-hmm.
on a street where they just break into the letterboxes. So, you know, I have to have another expense. And when I go there, I have my key. I go get my piece of paper that tells me this is my parcel I've come to get. And now they're saying, oh, we're going to be, and actually the guy in the post office says, hi, Rahana. His name's Michael. And I say, hi, Michael. And then he says, you're going to have, everyone's going to have to show their ID. And I said, no, I'm not going to show my
Your
ID.
ID, what, for getting your mail?
To get my mail out of my number that I pay for. And I've already got the piece of paper to show you this is my mail. I said, I won't be doing that. And actually, the woman next door to him was looking at me, said, I'm not participating in digital ID. And she was going, and I said to her secretly another time, I think you're on the same page as me, right? You know? And she was like, yeah. So they never asked me. And they had, well, once they did ask me again. They did ask me. And I said, I don't have one. I don't have an ID. And they couldn't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, we
So
just got to hold
they'll
out
try.
as long as we can, really.
Yeah,
And
I
just,
don't know if they'll try anything like that in where you are, but they are going to keep trying. In fact, someone was talking about, it sort of slips in different ways, that word, digital, here and there. People have their digital bloody driver's license. Don't do it. Yeah.
I got approached by a company, you know, now that I've got a reasonable following, I got approached, I can't think what they're called, but it's in Vietnam, everyone uses an app and they go to the QR code, even for like a little sandwich or a fruit stall or whatever, and they just pay with their phone. And it's an app that you can use around Southeast Asia. I got approached by them for a collaboration deal. And I said, no, I'm a cash girl. So what a bummer that my first offer of a collaboration deal where I could have made a bit of money and been sponsored. I just said, no, I'm cash. I don't do it. Yeah,
there we go. Integrity, absolutely. Yeah. That's when you absolutely don't agree with something. Maybe it was money, but it doesn't matter because it's your morals and your integrity way more. Yeah.
And you get rewarded in other ways. But yeah, it's gonna, I don't know, they're not gonna make it easy. And it's ironic because in Vietnam they all have digital IDs here already, but they're very compliant. You know, it's a communist country. They just do what they're told and they don't rebel. But also there's a different kind of freedom here. You know, they're not like trying to arrest people or book them for silly things. You know, there's people riding motorbikes without helmets and kids on the bikes, and
they're not trying to take things away from them, which is what they're threatening. You know, this whole, if it becomes a social credit thing connected to your digital.
Yeah. I mean, people just do the right thing and they're not being treated like, that's the feeling that you get in Australia, is that you're a criminal and you're not even doing anything wrong, you know?
But see, that's living.
You're a criminal for the way that you think because you believe in sovereignty. Oh, so you're a sovereign citizen.
Yeah. But that's, of course, getting into all of the politics, all of the stuff which don't even want to think about. The only thing I think about is when I go to the post office, I'm not going to show you anything. So that's as much as I think about it. But I don't worry about anything. I don't worry about that they're going to come and do whatever. Because a lot of people feel that, you know, that's another reason why I wanted to read the Bible and everything, is that we're coming towards an end. Yeah. And that there will be some, so that I've got to get to the end of the Bible first.
Yeah. It definitely feels like we're in some kind of end times, you know?
But maybe it's just an end of shit times. Maybe it's beginning of something. Just, I mean, I do believe that there's separation in the worlds, the dimensions and things like that. I've definitely felt when things have changed or shifted. And I've got lots of friends who also have, like, there's something energetic going on, or there's shifts, and
There's
none of it's
wars in
heavy.
heaven. There's a huge war in the heavenly realm. That's what I think is going on. And there are people feeding the energy on both sides. And, it needs to be exposed, and you got to put on your armor of God. That's what I think, and just be a good person, as good as you can be. And, but it's not enough just to be a good person. Be a good person. I think
it's not enough to. Sorry, what? Not enough to.
I think it's not enough just to be a good person. People used to say that. Just be a good person and live a good life. No, I think it's a spiritual thing. Like, you've got to, you've got to get into it.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Hmm?
You mean, well,
I mean, so there is a spiritual battle going on, and, there's people feeding the evil with their dark satanic rituals and trying to control us all. Like the people who are creating the digital ID and all of these rules, like, it goes up to the top of a pyramid where there's people doing deals with the devil.
The worst. Yes.
And there's a spiritual nexus point where there's a human and then there's evil forces. And so really the only way to win against that is to get on the side of good, but spiritually, through prayer and worship and,
And they've created so much, so many people suffer from anxiety and stress. And I know, and I've spoken to you before about this, and don't even know how to get past it, because anxiety it's all part of the devil, isn't it? It's all part of it, to bring people down, to make them confused, to make them worry about this and this and this and all the material things, and how can I possibly cope with all this stuff. But you know what? And the things that are coming out now, they're saying that we're not even supposed to be paying taxes. Did you see that going around, that we shouldn't, like?
Well, no comment.
Yeah.
But speaking about freedom.
Yeah.
You can.
But
tax is voluntary. Let's put it that way.
We've been told that we're good.
We pay tax on everything. Everything you buy. Like, isn't it? They say 50% of everything, every penny ends up in the government coffers. Because you buy a coffee and the coffee shop is paying tax on the coffee that you bought from them. They're paying tax on the coffee and the milk and the cup that they're giving you, and then the person that they bought the coffee from is also paid tax on that coffee. Like, it's just this endless thing. So where income tax is unlawful. So that's another. That is, without talking about myself, but that's another way to be free. And also road tolls.
Oh, absolutely.
And if things go to debt collectors, then you know that you don't have to pay anymore. So if you've got a debt that has gone to a collector, you never made a contract with the collector. So they have no authority. So if you're getting threatening, or they're not threatening, actually, they're begging letters from debt collectors saying, hey, we've got a deal for you. You can, that the debt has been paid for the thing, whatever it was. And so there are lots of ways to just break free.
I did have a bill to the council, and seems to have vanished. They've given up. I gave them a reason. I said, nah, and they've sort of, looks like they've given up. Maybe.
Yeah, they do. Eventually.
I was just going to say, what was I going to say? Oh, so the thing with the tax thing and all that is, we believe that we have to be good and do the right thing all the time. And that's why people do the right thing and do this. And we better do this and better do this. Oh, we better, because what will happen if we don't? But now we realize actually it's been a load of rubbish, and we weren't even, like you said, it's everywhere, all the tax. And then there's GST on top of that.
Yeah.
So another tax.
A lot of people found all of this out in COVID. There's lots of groups that you can join. Living Free community is really good. There's lots of ways to get around all of that stuff.
They're just strangling people. They're
jumping through their hoops.
Yeah.
Being fearful.
So just going back to you, what would you like to say about, before we sort of bring this to a close in a bit, what would you like to talk about your courses a bit, what you're doing?
Yeah, well, okay. So this is, my 10-day reset is coming up. I think it's June the 15th. I've got an info sheet if anyone's interested. So basically I teach a metabolic reset, which is training your body to switch from burning carbs to burning fat. It's a much healthier way for your body. This is something that happened to me last year when I came to Vietnam, because I was mostly a carnivore, actually, ketogenic diet. And then I got here and I immediately became addicted to the sweet coffees. And then I started eating fruit, and I kind of deviated from my own way of eating. And my metabolism kept working. So it's shifted my whole way of working with people, because I've realized I'm not one of these kind of, I'm not fanatical. I'm not a fundamentalist about diet. But I think if you reset your metabolism, so, most people that work with me are women in their 50s and 60s. They've got stubborn weight. They've got brain fog. The big one is like afternoon crashes, cravings, hunger, all of these things that, happen from years of restrictive diet, menopause, belly fat, all that sort of thing. I've developed this little 10-day reset, which helps to completely reset your metabolism, reset your appetite signals, get rid of the afternoon crashes, get rid of the hunger. And everyone that has worked with me has had success. I had someone lose 4.5 kilos last time. So they always lose weight, always gain their energy back. Everyone says they're not hungry, so they're not thinking about food all the time. And then they can continue on their own. So it's just a reset. Yeah. So it's, and I'm charging $149 US for that. There's 5 live calls, Zoom calls, a little Facebook group, and it's lots of fun. It's very simple. It's very educational, and everyone that does it sort of continues on in some way. And there's, more support if people need it. So I also have a 12-week, coaching program that I teach 1-to-1, and I'm turning the 10-day reset into an online course. But I think a lot of women don't really need 28 days of support or 12 weeks of support. They just need to know what they need to do, because there's a lot of confusion about what's healthy and how you should eat and what works, what doesn't work. And this is something that works, but you don't have the bounce back into sort of gaining weight again, because you're eating more. It's not about eating less. So you're actually
changing the mindset,
force yourself to eat. And it's not about exercising more. In fact, exercise is optional. So you don't even have to exercise, because you're training your body to work differently. So it will continue to do that if you keep it up. So that's I've got an info sheet I can send anyone. So if anyone's interested to know more, just send me a DM, send me a message either on Instagram or Facebook.
All her Instagram thing is in here. I'll put it back up again.
Yeah, or Facebook. Just send me a message. Follow me on Facebook and then send me a message, and I will send it to you. I've just got like a Google Doc, and I think I'm kicking on. I can't remember what date, because I've been really not very good at promoting it, because that was one of the tricky things about going viral with a post about freedom is like, oh, but I'm talking about health. And so now it's like people are following me for one reason. I don't want to just be promoting stuff all the time because that's not what people followed me for. So
Yeah.
I'm sort of trying to just be a bit more subtle about it and
understandable.
Not give it the hard sell. But I really love doing it because, I know I was one of those women who gained weight in menopause and struggled to get rid of it. And now I can eat whatever I want, which I never thought I'd be able to say that. But my body it metabolizes everything. And, that's my goal now with women. It's to get them to food freedom, where you can go back to eating the way you did maybe when you were in your 20s, and, you can't do that anymore.
Well, we can't afford to in Australia. No, no, I'm bad. I still go to Terra Madre, but actually it's quite cheap.
You still what?
Stop promoting them. The organic shop, where there's two of them on the other side of the city. I better get them on as a sponsor because I'm always promoting them. Terra Madre. You don't have it in Sydney.
Oh, Terra what?
Yeah. Terra Madre. Yeah.
Okay.
But
well, I was never an organic food person. I couldn't afford it. I was a single mom.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not paying $12 for broccoli. Sorry. So
No,
I mean, I'm of the thinking. I'm 64 now. I'm of the thinking that, if you do certain fundamental things right, Belinda, hit me up. I will help you out. I'm of the thinking that we have to be able to withstand a certain amount of plastic and chemicals and radiation and electromagnetic, frequencies. Like it's there, it's in our environment, so we are able to sort of deal with a certain amount of this, but you got to get some fundamental things right.
Well, I have plenty of that but I also have black seed oil and all kinds of things. Down my throat.
I mean, if you can afford organic food, if I could afford, I mean, that's one of the beauties of Vietnam. There's no factory farming. Like you should hear it at sunrise. The roosters are just going off. There are real proper free range chickens. Everywhere you go, you see chickens running around. And so it's proper free range, organic. You don't have to worry about that. And it's very local as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. So you have organic. And I just choose that, and that's my thing. I don't do other things or whatever. And it's not actually that expensive. I don't eat meat anyway, so that I don't have to have that expense. But
well, you can't do my program.
No, I haven't eaten since I was 18. I haven't had meat since I was 18.
It's the only thing. Who is it not for? The only thing it's not for is for people who want to be vegans, because I can't work with vegans.
I'm not vegan, but I'm
do you eat eggs?
Yes, I do.
That's good. I think we all need a bit of animal protein in our lives.
Yeah, only in the last few years. I eat fish too, but not very often. Well, it's been a pleasure. I'm so glad to have that. Lovely. You said yes. It doesn't look, I don't know if you can see, there doesn't look like there's many people here, but this will go on.
I've actually just changed the. No, I'm not. I'm on the StreamYard screen. I can't see Facebook at all.
Oh no, I'm on StreamYard. StreamYard.
Where does it show the?
Oh no, maybe it's just on me. But there's about 5 channels.
I can't see it.
Playing. And I'm potentially going to be moving everyone. I'm going to be moving to Tuesday nights, every second Tuesday. But that's maybe because I'm just looking to change Earthworm Woman around a bit, just so that it's not just podcasts, but I like podcasts as well. But I've got to keep going on other things. So anything else you'd like to say from Vietnam, or say something in Vietnamese? Say goodbye.
No, I can't think of anything.
Doesn't she look good, everyone? You look amazing. You look so healthy. That's one thing.
Thank you.
Melbourne
I feel like it's changed. It's just changed me. Yeah, no, just
Yeah.
please get in touch if you're interested in knowing more about my program. And, I'm just very grateful. I feel so grateful.
Yeah, you're just a perfect example of somebody who's just gone, hang on, you know what? I gotta be not even so selfish, just gotta listen to what you feel and what you're being directed to do.
You have a little dream and it works. And, it's still, you still have all the same little niggles. I still worry about things and I still feel like I should be doing more, and I still am trying to do everything all at once. And, there's still all those sorts of things that go on. It's not like, you're still dealing with your own head and your own little idiosyncrasies.
Do you get visitors there?
Not really. I haven't. That's another video I made about, do I get lonely? It's on my YouTube.
Yeah.
Not really. I've got a couple of friends here at the moment, but they're friends who I actually met through COVID in a messenger group, and they happen to be here. So we've become friends. But I've only actually seen them twice since.
That's good.
No, I don't really see a lot of people. There's so much interaction you have with.
Yeah, but just a different way.
If you have a little conversation with the housekeeper, and then you have a little chat with the lady at the coffee store, and now I've got my kitten. I never get lonely. I'm never bored. And I think because we've got our internet friends, like I've got people that message me and we send voice messages back and forth, and I'm in a couple of little groups. And so I never really feel lonely. And yeah, there's a lot of expats, but I think as you get older, you don't need it as much. And you're also more selective. When you're younger and you're traveling, you kind of just end up hanging out a lot with people when you're traveling, when you're younger. But I think as you get older, you don't really need to do that as much. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm going to do a retreat next year as well. So I'm working on that as well, which is going to be designed, because when I did the post that went really viral about me moving to Vietnam on a one-way ticket, I've had so many people comment that I'm brave and courageous. And for me, it doesn't feel that brave because I've traveled by myself all my life. But I realize that there's probably a lot of women who haven't traveled alone, but they wouldn't mind living in Vietnam in their retirement years. But they're too, so I'm going to do a retreat to help kind of encourage that sort of independence and trust. It's not going to be a spiritual yoga retreat. It'll be let's all go and, on some adventures and just learn to do stuff on your own and be comfortable with it. So that'll be probably in March or April next year.
That's a good idea. I have traveled alone, but not traveled. I've traveled across the world by myself when I was younger, but when I was in my 30s,
but actually arriving in a place and booking accommodation and all that sort of thing, getting around.
Not making it so scary.
Because it actually isn't really. It's really fun.
Especially to a country which doesn't have the same language, which would, that's an exciting
but we've got
thing.
Google Translate. The
people are different.
People. It's amazing.
People are very different.
Just speak into your phone.
That appeals to me. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was going to say we've got translation apps, and they use ChatGPT, and they type and show you what they're trying to say. And even I don't know if you know about this on Google Translate, they've got a camera as well. So you can just hold it up to a menu or a sign. So you can go around the supermarket with your phone and go like that. And it just translates it all into English.
There we go.
So technology is pretty great for that.
Well, it's your morning as well, isn't it? So you're going to get. I've got to get.
Yeah, I'm 3 hours behind. It's 8:10.
Well, have a lovely day. I'm going to go and carry on with what I have to do. We've got
good luck with your film. When do you start shooting?
No, we've done it. We shot it.
Oh, you've got it. Wow.
Yep. That's what I raised the money. I found the location. I did all the production stuff. Got my team, and we shot it in 6 days. And
That's amazing.
It looks amazing. I'm a bit of a coward. It took me ages to look at it. I've got the whole thing on a hard drive. I'm like,
yeah. Oh
you've got to
God,
look at
that's
it.
like I'm like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like
It
that.
took me
I
such a
totally
long time.
relate to that.
Yeah, and I had to go and buy myself a new laptop and all of that anyway. But I have seen a bit of what the editor's given me as a kind of, and the good thing is I'm going, okay, yep, I don't want that. I like this, but I don't think. And so, as I was a second director, so I had an on-set director, but I had sort of the visions, and I'd get in there and talk with the DOP about how I wanted it to be, what we were going to be doing. And then Beck was amazing, absolutely amazing. She just picked up from where I was and took it with us on every day, did the directing. Everybody, I got my son working on there. It was it just went amazingly in 6 days. We never went overtime, got the whole thing done. And now I have an editor, and he's started to do his first assembly. So that's why I have to watch it, because I've got to know what else I want to put in. Or hang on a second, I don't like that shot. I like that shot. That shot is much better. So I've got to see everything that we did and take notes. But it's huge. And now I've even got like composers. So it's a huge amount to do now. But I had the vision. I'm going to make Maroon the film. And so it's happening.
Amazing.
Yes.
Have you made a film before?
Mm-mm.
Wow,
I've made short films.
Oh, I was
short
just looking
films.
over.
I've produced so many theatre pieces, but yeah, no, it's and because of what it's about, it's got a lot of help. But I have to keep raising money now because I need to pay editors and blah 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 now. But yeah, that's my mission.
Well done.
Miracle, anything you'd like to say?
I think she might want she might want some food. How beautiful is she?
Gorgeous.
She's so sweet.
That's a gorgeous name as well.
I know, that just came to me. It was weird. I was making a little video when I first found her, and I saw it back in my phone, and I'd said, if you survive, I'm going to call you Miracle. It just came out of my mouth. I wasn't trying to think of a name out.
Yeah.
I think she's hungry. She's biting my face. Okay. She's
all right. Lots of love.
Shoes.
We're going to say goodbye.
Thank you so much, Johanna. Thanks everyone for watching.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I am not just a product made to satisfy the pocket, nor do I require the same fame others seek. I desire your heart, the passions that make you a woman, any woman, every woman. My scents are a representation of purpose, courage, confidence, each botanical ingredient a praise of thanksgiving and self-care. The way I feel upon your flesh, a comfort of nourishment, as I feed dehydrated and depleted layers of skin, bursting for a new life of regrowth and youthfulness. If I stir your soul with each application, let it be known that you, too, are an intimate duet woman.